This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
To make the argument that the Republican Party is not the party of white supremacy is a fool's errand. I've got two competing headlines here. We'll put them both up at the same time. One is from March 14th, last month, and one is from today. Both involve Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, and they both tell a story. They both tell the same story from a different side. This headline from NBC News, Mississippi Governor signs law limiting discussion of race in schools. The bill, signed by Governor Tate Reeves, takes effect immediately. Superintendent of Education Carrie Wright has said that critical race theory is not taught in state schools. Well, of course it's not. The legal framework of how racism is embedded in our public policy, why would that be taught in grade school? Discussions of public policy and its creation are not an elementary school topic. They're barely a high school topic. And critical race theory isn't even taught in undergrad in school. It is a law school curriculum for law students who have gone through college and got their undergraduate degree. Here's the other headline. I'm going to read a little bit from this first one that I mentioned, but then here's from the Mississippi Free Press. Governor Reeves declared April Confederate Heritage Month. So the same governor who believes that the state needs to celebrate Confederate heritage also doesn't want race talked about in schools. Oh, who's surprised? Reading from this NBC News article, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves signed a bill Monday, this is last month, remember, to limit how race can be discussed in classrooms, and it became law immediately. The short title of Senate Bill 2113 says it would prohibit critical race theory, but the main text of the legislation does not mention or define the theory, and many supporters of the bill also have said they cannot define it. How can you outlaw something? How can you prohibit something that you don't understand because you're either just an ignorant doofus or willfully not learning about it? The Republican-controlled House voted 75-43 to pass the bill March 3rd after a 6-hour debate in which several black lawmakers gave impassioned speeches in opposition. They said the legislation could squelch honest discussion about the harmful effects of racism because parents could complain if history lessons made white children uncomfortable. I'm going to repeat that sentence because I believe it bears repeating. They said the legislation could squelch honest discussion about the harmful effects of racism because parents could complain if history lessons make white children uncomfortable. Yet, there is no concern for whether black children are uncomfortable in April of 2022 as the state celebrates and recognizes this month as Confederate Heritage Month. The Confederate States existed. They sprang up as an entity trying to be their own country to preserve slavery. The Republican Party is a vile white supremacist organization. Last paragraph from this NBC article, very telling numbers here. Mississippi has the highest percentage of black residents of any state, about 38%, along with other states in the Deep South, including neighboring Alabama. It was a crucible of the civil rights movement. And they are fighting with every ounce of energy that they have within them to reverse that. Now I'm going to read from this Mississippi Free Press. Governor Reeves declared April Confederate Heritage Month. Juxtapose what I'm getting ready to read against the legislative, the signed into law measure to not talk about race in school, not talk about racism in school, not talk about the wide-ranging, damaging effects of slavery that reverberate across history to even today. For the third year in a row, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves is declaring the month of April as Confederate Heritage Month, keeping a tradition alive that his predecessors began 29 years ago. April is a month when, in 1861, the American Civil War began between the Confederate and Union armies, reportedly the costliest and deadliest war ever fought on American soil, the proclamation says. It notes that the last Monday of April is also Confederate Memorial Day in Mississippi. It is identical to the proclamation Reeves signed in 2021. After issuing the same proclamation last year, however, the Republican governor appeared on Fox News on April 29, 2021 and claimed that, quote, there is not systemic racism in America, contradicting mountains of evidence, including the vestiges of Jim Crow, that remain in force in Mississippi law. For those of you in the back of the room who are either not listening or refusing to hear the words that I'm saying, the Republican Party is a pernicious white supremacist organization. And here is your evidence. Here is but a scant amount of evidence that should lead you to the conclusion. 1 month, they prohibit the teaching of matters of race in school, and the very next month is Confederate Heritage Month, the heritage of owning human beings as property. What a wonderful thing to want to preserve and celebrate, the heritage of slavery. Can you guess what word I'm going to utter next? Gross. Reprehensible, disgusting. Tate Reeves. Not just a dumb guy, a dangerous one as well. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can also email me daily@dollemore.com. Listen, if you're out there and you disagree, if you're out there and you're a hater, if you're out there and you believe Confederate Heritage Month is something that desperately needs to be recognized and celebrated, call me. Or be a coward. It's your choice. You can also follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, and yell at me there and tell me how wrong I am. I am at Dollemore, all across the board there. And if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you some value on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, and you'd like to help support and produce what I do here, you can click the join button below this video, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support and produce my work there. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.